Yeah, a lot of the stress and suicides we read about, where's the pressure coming from? A lot of course, the schools are putting pressure, the parents are also putting pressure. It's everybody, the whole society is putting pressure on those poor children. And at the end of the year, we have precious children's lives lost to these things. So, so parents have their expectations, and some of them are unreasonable. I won't say all of them. Some of them are unreasonable. We've had a parent who brought 2-year-old to our school and said, "Please teach him in a way that he becomes a doctor." I said, "What do you mean by that? S for stethoscope, P, O for operation, and what do you? How is that supposed to happen?" So parents have their own expectations, and then they force it on the child, making comes life becomes very, because he has suddenly these expectations which his parents want to aspire for, and this joke, a child brings a report card home one day, and their father says, he starts yelling at him. He said, "Well, these are grades. You know what? This when I was there, this happened. I used to get this many marks. This was you scored. You failed in this subject. English you done so badly. I just that person that person." So he said, and comparing to himself, and he says, "Papa, this is your report card. I just found it under the bed." So we have parents who could not achieve it for themselves, and now they want their child to. So puts a lot of pressure. For example, I got one of our parents who came to this. My daughter doesn't talk at all, and I have created such a positive environment for her to stimulate her, and still she doesn't talk a lot as much as I would like her to do. I said, so let it be for some time. I mean, she's just very small. I mean, she's just 5 years old right now. She's just started formal schooling. Anyway, what does her schedule look like? What kind of environment are you talking about? So see, when she goes home from school, from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock, she has a lunch and settles down. 4 o'clock she has dance classes. 5 o'clock she has English conversation classes. 7 o'clock she goes to abacus classes, which are maths classes. 9 o'clock there's a sir which comes home and talks about English conversation skills to him. I say, you've not let the child be a child. You've kind of put them into a kind of a factory mode and try to. What are you planning on Sundays? Bharatanatyam training for her at 5 years? What are you going to do with this child? So this is what parents are doing, and this is called, I think, hyper parenting, or what I would like to call it. I mean, it is putting a lot of pressure, but I think things are changing as well. For 15 years now, parents are more like, okay, let him be happy, let him do. I think the best thing the parents can do at their end is to spend quality time with the child in terms of whatever, know what he's doing in school, learn what he's doing, supplement what he's doing. So be there, so the child feels secure that our parents are always there for me. Give that kind of environment. Know what's going on in his or her life, whether it's in K-12 level or a preschool level. A lot of fathers don't even, I meet, they don't even know what class their children are studying in. They're like, I'm busy with my business, making money. That's my wife's job, and they don't attend parent-teacher meetings. They have no clue what's going on in their child's life. So those kind of children will not grow up normally. So the idea is that who are you making money for at the end of the day? You're making for children, right? So if they're not going to be groomed with people who can manage that money that you're making, what's the whole idea? Where are values going to come from? Is he just going to learn values from his friends? You want your values to also be there. So we have a very simple recommendation for parents that just spend quality time with them, and quality time means switching off your cell phone, switching off the TV, not looking at TV, nodding your head or something, or reading newspaper, asking to come back later. So if you want to, if you want time for yourself and you want time for your child, so you can schedule a time that, okay, from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock he knows that Papa will be there for me. If you're not comfortable, you want to have your own time as well, you don't want multiple children bothering you all the day, that's also fine. But at least there should be some time where the child knows that it's between you and me. So that really takes care of a lot of things, because you listen to the child, what are problems in his life, does he need help, does he actually need tuitions, does he do? If not, are you just forcing things on? Is he interested in the dance class that you send him to? Or you just want him to become a dancer because you saw Boogie Woogie and you saw the child do well? Or you send him for cricket coaching classes because IPL, the children are making money, and you think your child can wear Tendulkar. Why won't you wear Tendulkar then? So what's wrong with you? So people have to understand genetics as well, and understand that not everyone is going to be gifted. And there are so many avenues which they can explore, and let it be natural. There's nothing to. You don't have to conquer the world today if it's for your child. Let him be a child. Let him run around, kick a ball in the park, and that's also okay. He'll grow up fine. Should not be worried.